This is probably one of the most common houseplants that people get for their homes. This is Dracaena trifasciata, which is formerly known as Sansevieria trifasciata. And it's commonly known as snake plant for obvious reasons because of how it snakes upwards and looks like a snake or the body of a snake, and also mother-in-law's tongue. I mean, if you actually go more into the plant world, you'll see that a lot of plants are called mother-in-law's something or other, and it just goes to show you that we might not like all of our mother-in-laws. But this particular one is a very easy one to grow. Oftentimes it's claimed to be in lower light conditions, and I have to admit I have this one in a lower light condition compared to some of my other Sansevieria or Dracaena trifasciatas. But it actually starts to peter out after 2 or 3 years if you're not giving it a tremendous amount of light, because these plants, which are native to kind of Central Western Africa, actually like to be in a lot of full sun, bright light conditions, and they can handle that. So if you have those conditions in your house and you have the space for them, then I would definitely give them that opportunity because they will grow a heck of a lot better. I've actually seen some people even flower their Dracenas in their home, which is really unique. Not always easy to do because these particular plants are not they're really reluctant to kind of flower, but they do have really beautiful flowers that kind of grow up on these tall stalks. As far as watering goes, I'm not watering this one very much, maybe once every 2 weeks. And you could actually see I have a really well-draining mix here. You can actually see some of the roots coming up out of this particular one right here. If I maybe like just tip it up a little bit there. That's often because of my chicken. My chicken likes to actually go and stick her beak in some of these and takes up some of the roots in the process while she's like eating the perlite. So I have to be very careful with this one because it's kind of like leaning, and it's not just because of the light conditions that I'm giving it. It's also because like my chicken likes to eat at the roots, and then the Sansevieria kind of falls on its edge. But most of these actually propagate by offsets, so it'll start to grow some offsets on the bottom, and you could actually then divide those offsets, or you could kind of let them grow in the pot, which this one's a little bit of a wider pot, and I am more than happy if I actually have this fill out with Sansevieria, but because it's a slow grower, it will actually take some time. However, I've seen them in botanic gardens just kind of growing full out and spreading pretty wildly, so it is definitely possible. As far as humidity goes, they don't need any humidity whatsoever. So low humidity is totally fine for these. Moderate humidity is also perfectly fine. If you give it too much humidity, I'd imagine it would start to rot, so I would just be a little bit careful with that. And these are generally pest-free. I mean, I've had Sansevieria or Dracaena trifasciata for quite some time. I mean, probably for as long as I've been growing plants in here, so maybe even 9 or 10 years. It was one of the first new plants that I've actually got for my home. And I like how they kind of grow upright. So if you have like specific areas that are, you have to kind of manage around, like my home has a lot of these angles, and growing them upright and not having them stick out allows you to kind of walk around your particular plants. And one other thing I will say is that there's so many different cultivated varieties of Dracaena trifasciata. This one's like a darker variety, but they have all different types of variegations and colors. So look out for those in the market. They're a little expensive because they're slow growing, but otherwise it's a really good investment plant to have in your home.